Fearless podcast, Fearlessly Fit podcast. I'm sorry. I've been away for so long, I forgot the name of my own podcast. Um, I wanted to come on and give you guys a fitness update as well as make an announcement. But first, let me show you my shirt. Let me see if I can stand up. YouTube people can see it. It says Defy Tradition. It's an off the shoulder sweatshirt. A friend of mine has a boutique. It's called Jay is All Right. She's on Instagram, and you can look her up there and find the link to her boutique. But okay, so me. Let's talk about me. You guys know I've been on a fitness journey for almost a little over 18 months now. It'll be 2 years in February. And I have switched programs and trainers a couple times, but for the last 10 months now, I've been doing a program called Precision Nutrition. And that's offered through a trainer I work with online by the name of Ren Jones. His Instagram handle and Facebook is Fitness Jones Training. And if you follow me on social media, you see me reposting and sharing his posts quite a bit. And that's because this is the first time I've worked with a trainer that understands what women go through and the obstacles that we face to incorporate fitness and healthier living into our lifestyle. And so he offers this program called through Precision Nutrition that teaches you habits and helps you break unwanted habits. We'll say that because I don't like to use the B word. People love to categorize food and habits as bad, but they don't have morality. Okay. There's unwanted habits and poor choices. We'll say it like that. So, okay, but back to me. So I've been working with Fitness Jones Training since January of this year. At first, I started off with a subscription service where I got the nutrition lessons along with basic workouts that come through email every day. Then I made the decision, which I'll talk about later, to do a big step in my transformation journey. And I decided I needed some custom workouts. So in July, I switched over to customized workouts that my coach set up and designed for me. And that I get that through an app. And I'm still doing the nutrition lessons. So 10 months in, roughly, it has been life-changing. It's changed the way I think about food and fitness and what fitness should look like because everybody's different. And as they like to say on social media, fitness looks different on everybody. But in July, I started doing these custom programs and it changes every 4 weeks or every month. So this was my fourth update that I just started working on this past week. And they're always challenging. They're quick and dirty, as I like to call them, because they're designed to be done within 30 minutes. And you, at first, you're like, okay, that's not enough. I haven't worked enough. But by the end of the workout, yeah. And like I told him yesterday during our weekly check-in call, when I first looked at the update for the October plan, I was like, oh, that looks like that might be easy. But by the time I go through the circuit 3 times, yeah, you can tell you put in some work, especially at my age when you sit down for a little while and then stand up. So now I'm going to tell you guys what my big announcement is. So like I said, I've been at this thing for almost 2 years and there have been good changes in my body. I've been able to see changes. But one thing that has not really changed and probably never will with just good nutrition and exercise is my waist or my midsection. When I started, I was 241 pounds in January of 2018. At my heaviest several years ago, I was pushing 260 and I'm only 5 feet tall. I've had 3 children. My oldest, she was 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and almost 22 inches long. She was a huge baby. The doctor, when I didn't show any signs of going into labor on my own, the doctor hinted at possibly a C-section because she was so large. She didn't think that I would be able to deliver vaginally, which I did. But anyway, she was a huge baby. And then I had two more babies in the span of the next 4 years, 5 years. So from 1998 till 2003, I was pregnant, parenting, nursing, pregnant, And my weight kind of went up and down during that time. I didn't exercise regularly. And when you have a large baby and you have a rather short torso or frame, the skin gets stretched before I mess up that word, 360, we'll say that. So I have a lot of excess skin and fat deposits that have been pretty stubborn. And everybody knows that's typically the last place it's going to go on the majority of the population, especially for somebody like me that is more of an apple shape. Most of the people in my family are apple shaped. So I started doing some research into cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery, and I looked at some different doctors. There was not a lot of options. Locally, we have one plastic surgery practice, and I don't have anything against them, but because I know someone that's had work done there, several people that have had plastic surgery done with that clinic, but I just wanted somebody that specialized in people that have had, that have lost weight, and I wanted somebody that was experienced with ethnic skin, pigmentation, melanin, because some of us have a tendency to develop keloids, and our skin is a little bit different because of the pigmentation. So I went to see a doctor in Birmingham for a consultation, and I was thinking about doing a 360 body lift at first. And he said, "Oh yeah, you're a good candidate. We can do that. You'll have to spend the night in the hospital." And the cost associated with that was pretty high. And then I posted on social media that I had been for my consultation, and a friend inboxed me and she was like, "You really should look into doctors of color that have more experience with working with people with pigmentation and melanin." And I said, "You know what? That's a good idea." So I did some more research, checked out Instagram, YouTube, because a lot of doctors now are posting their surgeries and their before and afters on their social media accounts. And I didn't want to travel too far, so I was looking at Atlanta. I had been to Birmingham, obviously, but I only had that one consultation. And then I found a website called Real Self. On Real Self, people can post their pictures, and different doctors will give their opinion on what procedure would work best for the look you're trying to achieve. So I had bookmarked a couple of doctors in the Atlanta area. One in particular, I was obsessed with his work because he did beautiful work, and he does a drainless tummy tuck procedure. Well, the more I looked into it, the more I read through his website, he is one of the doctors that prefers for patients to be at a certain BMI, and that amount would be really, really hard for me to get down to. Because first of all, BMI was not designed to be a measure of health. It was basically a research study on waist circumference and in certain, what's the word I'm looking for, certain demographics of people, basically. And the doctor that created, or the guy that created it, has said the BMI was not designed to be used to gauge health. And the more I looked at this doctor's work, I noticed that he likes to do what I call pretty patients. They are usually average sized, haven't had any significant weight loss or weight gain, and he basically can go in there and do like a mini tuck, which is one of the reasons they don't have to have a drain. And it looks natural on them because the rest of their body is proportioned. It's just their midsection, or they may have had, like me, may have had children and they've got that excess skin. So I decided, well, I need to look into somebody else. So I started searching again, and I came across Dr. Vincent Naiman at Chattahoochee Plastic Surgery. I went and had a consultation, and I was planning on going and have one more consultation with a doctor in Atlanta that does patients with a higher BMI or a higher weight. And once I went to Chattahoochee Plastics and met Dr. Naiman, I decided that he would be my surgeon, and I really didn't need to look anymore. So we talked about what I wanted done. He was honest with me. He told me that the 360 body lift, he doesn't do those anymore because of, number one, it's a lot of, what's the word? A lot of work to be done in the amount of time that they like to keep you under anesthesia. And then the recovery is difficult because you got an incision all the way around your body. So however you lay or try to get comfortable is going to be hard. And given that I couldn't really take months and months off work for recovery, I decided to go with his suggestion of doing two separate procedures. So the first procedure that I'm going to have done is a tummy tuck with lipo to the flanks, and it's also known as an abdominoplasty. He's going to remove the excess skin and fat, reposition that skin on my body, make a new opening for my belly button, do muscle repair where they pull your abs back together and sew them, because when you have a baby or you have a really large stomach, your abs can separate. And I'm pretty sure mine are, because when I lay down, my stomach is flat, but when I go to sit up or do like a crunch maneuver, it puffs out right down the middle. So that lets me know that my abs, my muscles are separated. So that procedure is scheduled for a little less than 3 months from now. I am counting down the days, but starting to get nervous at the same time because it's a major surgery. I'm going to have to take some time off work, and but I feel like it's the right decision for me because there's no amount of exercise, calorie restriction, or targeting that area that works. If there was, I would have done it by now. Let me also say, plastic surgery is not a shortcut to weight loss. You really need to get to a stable weight and be there for a while before you have any type of plastic surgery. Given that I've been doing this almost 2 years, my weight is stable. It has been for almost a year. My weight has not changed since last June, I would say, June of 2018. My muscle mass has increased, but my fat levels have gone down. And I know this because I take pictures and compare side by side from, all angles. But there's still just this amount of skin and fat that's not really changing. It shrinks and it gets a little bit smaller. My stomach doesn't protrude as much in some places, but I realized a while back this is as good as it's going to get. There won't be a drastic change unless I have surgery. So I have been doing research and joining Facebook groups for plastic surgery support. I've gathered up my supplies over the last few months because there's some things that I'm going to need. The surgery is going to be at a surgery center that's adjacent to the office at Chattahoochee Plastic Surgery. So I won't be in the hospital, but he did ask me to spend the night in a local hotel that's about 3 minutes up the street from his office. And he would want to see me before we leave to come back home. And his office is in Columbus, Georgia, which is about an hour and a half from me. So it's better than the Atlanta drive, but it's still a little bit of distance. But I feel like from what I've seen of the before and afters on his website and in the books in his office, that doing it this way will be safer and for my benefit, basically. So that's the first part of the procedure. Tummy tuck with lipo to the flanks and muscle repair. Now, I also have quite a bit of back fat, as they call it, and several rolls that pretty much aren't going anywhere either. So his suggestion was to do the tummy tuck first, and then in a second procedure, address my back and rear flank area with probably tummy liposuction to that area. And when I get ready to do that, it's going to be a while because I need at least 6 months to a year to heal from the first procedure. And that's okay. I mean, if I can just wear my clothes comfortably and purchase a pair of pants that fit my waist and my legs, that'd be great. Because right now I'm kind of having to go a size or two up, depending on the clothing, so that it's comfortable around my stomach because I have so much loose skin. And people will, make all sorts of judgments and tell you shouldn't get plastic surgery, blah, blah, blah. But they're not the ones living in my body. There are a lot of problems that come with having loose skin. The first one is obviously irritation, chafing, rashes. Um, it's hot in Alabama. We have 70 plus degree weather for 9 to 10 months out of the year. Last year, we never really even got a winter. So when it's hot, you sweat. That becomes another issue because then you get a different type of irritation. Usually there's some kind of fungal issue. You can have yeast on your skin that gets irritated. Um, and no matter how much I try to dry the area off after I take a shower or a bath, it's just a constant problem. So I'm really looking forward to having that done. And basically, like I tell like I tell my friends, my belly button is going to be back where it was when I was 12. And that's probably the most exciting part. So I had some notes. Let me make sure I covered everything I wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, it's about quality of life for me at this point. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of laying down at night to go to sleep, and I'm on one part of the bed and my stomach is on another part of the bed. Same thing with my back. Like the first time about a month ago, I realized my fat loss was really, amped up and was actually happening. I was laying on my side and I felt the loose skin from one part of my back kind of drop down and touch the other side of my back, and I was like, oh God, gotta do something about that. And it's this I'm doing this for me. My husband doesn't care, my family and friends don't care. Most people that I meet on the street don't care what my stomach and my back looks like, but I do. And I have worked hard. I'm still working hard. I work out 3 times a week. I try to be consistent with my nutritional choices. I try to make sure that everything I do is in line with my goal and the end result in mind. Which brings me to another issue. I was going to say about nutrition. You can't really restrict your calories and expect to lose weight. If you're eating below a certain amount of calories, your body is going to try to hold on to every calorie you give it. I've tried that before, and your progress will stall. So you have to be smart about it. You have to continue to eat well, and I try to focus on whole foods, things that are minimally processed. I recently started ordering from a meal prep service that a friend of mine runs. She is a trained chef, and the food is delicious. So I get that for lunch and I keep it in the refrigerator at work. So I don't have to think, oh, what am I going to have for lunch today? And I don't have to go out in said 100-degree weather searching for food. I will link some people below that I got a lot of good information from. Some of the people that I follow on Instagram. A couple of the plastic surgery groups that I'm in on Facebook are private, and one of them in particular does not allow you to try to add people to the group. But there's Plus Size Plastics, that's one, and then there's a women's plastic surgery support group, and then there's a couple more that I was following. But the Plus Size Plastics one has been the most helpful because all of us are not a size 2 or a size 6 or a size 8. And there are doctors that will perform procedures on people who are considered to be by medical standards as obese. So, if you're healthy, then your weight should not be an issue. And I feel like I've done everything I can to be healthy for this procedure. I'm not freaking out about it anymore. At one point, I was trying to make sure that I lost as much fat as possible beforehand. And I was telling my husband the other night, It's my stomach. I still don't see a difference in it because it just looks the same. And he said, well, that's what the surgery is for. And that was like a light bulb moment. Aha. And I realized as much as I would like to, I'm limited to what I can do physically and schedule wise. And like my coach told me yesterday, I'm doing everything that I can do in this process and I'm doing my best. And that's all I can do. I do plan to record a couple more videos and focus on a little bit more about the procedure and the recovery and run through a list of things that I found from Pinterest, the Facebook groups that I'm in, and researching people on Instagram, just so you can have an idea of what's involved if this is something that you're thinking about doing or something that you think you might want to do at some point. I'm going to try to be more consistent with these podcasts. I have a space now to do it. I've cleaned out a section in my closet because all the other places in the house are either too noisy or too much traffic. So I'm hoping to do more podcasts at least once a week. And pretty soon when I'm recovering, I'll probably be on here all the time and y'all will get sick of looking at me because you'll be like, is she on there again? But yes, I will be. Because I'm not used to being at home with nothing to do all day, and I'll be off work for a few weeks. So, yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section, and I will link those pages and people that I've mentioned. And I'll also link my surgeon's YouTube channel so you can check him out, see what you think, see if if there's any kind of procedure that you're looking at having done, if you might want to go and have a consultation with them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I will see you next time on the Fearlessly Fit podcast. Bye.